What if everything you thought you knew about Jungkook's sudden departure from New York City was only the surface of a much deeper, more shocking truth? Why did he leave so abruptly when fans expected him to bask in the glory of his international spotlight? And why are whispers now spreading like wildfire that he is considering leaving HYBE altogether? Could this be the moment that changes everything we thought was stable in BTS's universe? Before we dive into this emotionally charged story, pause for a second, drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you care about Jungkook's happiness, and subscribe to stay updated because this unfolding drama might just rewrite the history of K-pop as we know it. The world has watched Jungkook rise from a wide-eyed teenager to a global icon, admired not just for his voice but for the raw authenticity that makes him the golden magne. But behind the flashing lights of New York Fashion Week, the carefully staged Calvin Klein appearances, and the powerful stage presence that left fans gasping, something far more personal was brewing. Observant ARMY noticed the subtle details, the way his smile seemed tight, the rushed goodbyes, the airport exit that felt far too urgent, almost like he was running from something unseen. And now the rumors are exploding. Jungkook might be considering a breakaway from HYBE. Why would the artist who has carried the dreams of millions even think of walking away? Is it the weight of fame pressing too heavily? The unending demands of an industry that treats its idols like machines rather than humans? Or is it something more intimate, a private reason that fans can only speculate about? The emotional tremors are undeniable. Social media has become a storm of tears and questions, with ARMY asking, is Jungkook truly unhappy? Did New York become the turning point? Was the sudden flight home more than just a schedule? Was it a silent cry for change? The shock is magnified because Jungkook has always been seen as the glue, the youngest but one of the strongest pillars of BTS. If he is indeed wrestling with the thought of leaving HYBE, it is not just about contracts or careers. It is about identity, belonging, and survival in an industry that often consumes the very souls it builds into legends. His quick departure from NYC now takes on a new heartbreaking meaning. What fans thought was exhaustion or overwork may have been the beginning of a silent rebellion, a quiet step toward reclaiming his freedom. Imagine the weight on his shoulders. For over a decade, Jungkook has carried the expectations of being perfect, the flawless dancer, the tireless singer, the idol who never breaks. But perfection is a cage, and perhaps NYC was the breaking point. Perhaps seeing the lights, the international adoration, the endless cycle of cameras made him realize he wanted more than applause. Perhaps the hurried flight was not a simple return home but an escape, an urgent need to find air before the pressure suffocated him completely. Fans are torn between heartbreak and empathy. On one hand, ARMY cannot imagine a BTS without Jungkook, the voice that has carried them through dark nights, the presence that has given them hope. On the other hand, their love for him is unconditional, and the thought that he might finally choose his happiness over duty stirs emotions that words can barely capture. Online timelines are flooded with messages. If leaving HYBE means Jungkook can breathe, then let him go. I can't stop crying, he deserves freedom, but I can't imagine BTS without him. NYC wasn't just fashion, it was the beginning of his goodbye. Could HYBE lose its brightest star? Could Jungkook carve a new path outside the empire that built him? Or could this be just another rumor, amplified by fear and longing? The truth is hidden, but the clues, the hurried departure, the silence, the restless aura, make it impossible to dismiss. The longer HYBE remains quiet, the louder ARMY's questions become. And each unanswered question deepens the suspense, the tension, the tears. But beyond the shock, there is a lesson in humanity here. Even idols bleed. Even the most golden souls need rest, need space, need the courage to say, I cannot keep carrying this alone. Jungkook's possible step away from HYBE is not just a headline. It is a mirror of every fan who has ever felt trapped, every dreamer who has ever longed to choose their own destiny. That is why the story feels so personal, so cutting, so unforgettable. So what happens now? Will Jungkook stand before ARMY and confess the truth? Will HYBE tighten its grip? Or will it let him fly free? The world waits breathlessly, torn between dread and hope. One thing is certain, this is not just about contracts or rumors. This is about the heart of a young man who gave his everything, and now maybe is finally ready to take something back for himself. Do you believe Jungkook should stay? Or do you believe he should walk away and find peace on his own terms? Share your thoughts below, cry with fellow fans, and stand together. Because no matter what happens, this moment will mark a turning point in the history of BTS, and in the life of the boy who grew into a legend right before our eyes. And remember, this isn't the end. It's only the beginning of a truth that will leave ARMY forever changed.